Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I bring you my Glock 19. Now I got the inspiration to make this after firing one on the weekend after 4th of July, since 4th of July was on a Wednesday. Now it's my first time firing a Glock, and it drew me to like it. Now, it was a Glock 19, it was Generation 4, and I made a Generation 4, so we'll be able to go over that. Now, the iron sights, as you can see, are pretty basic. They're a little bit too tall and a tad too wide, but I kind of was forced to do that by the overall scale of the gun by accident. Now, the width is accurate for all this. It's 1.18 inches, which is the actual width of the gun, which I actually noticed it was really wide when I held it in real life, and this one just feels a tad wider because there's no curves to it. I do have the indents to it. Oh, and as you've noticed, this is painted. It's my first time painting a gun, and I think it looks nice. It's one of my better guns, obviously, and plus it looks good. So, now, without further ado, some of the features. Remove working magazine release, which is something I do a lot, and removable magazine, which is a tad too short for the fact that the slide, it would get in the way of the slide lock, with the way I made it. So, now this gun would hold 15 plus 1 rounds. And in the future, I will be making a Glock 17, which is going to have a tan receiver. I'm going to make a video on that and then give it to my friend because he wanted me to. We both fired the Glock that day. We each got about half of the mag. And I was an 18 was already requested, so that will be on the way. Now, I did make a couple accessories. One of them just came to mind, and I will do work on in the future. And the other one, I literally made it a couple of minutes ago. So, before I get into those, we do have a working slide, which I fed the rubber band through the chamber so that it would work without getting caught up on anything. The slide release does work, but if you try and operate it with your right thumb, it doesn't really work, so it's better to operate with like your index finger if you're left-handed. Or, really? Try to keep this mostly kid-friendly. Anyway. Or, you know, your left thumb, if you're right-handed. It doesn't work too well with the right thumb. It damages it. It's a little flimsy. And, trigger doesn't work. But, it's nice anyway. If I was going to make it work, I would have had an actual working little safety mechanism. And I have some paint on my fingers from one of the accessories. I already showed off the magazine release. Well, the base plate is a little different, and I did have to do kind of a really dumb cutaway for the release to work. Now, I'm gonna open this up, which I'm not really supposed to do. It's not supposed to do that, but it can. So, this is how the magazine release is made. It's inside the gun and it comes around the outside. This is one of the hardest magazine releases I've ever made because it's the only one that was hard. Now it works well and the slide doesn't get hung up on it. If I can get the slide back on to the gun. There we go. It's the only thing I have a complaint about. Now the way I made the rail is this bottom portion. If you see, there's the indents. The bottom portion, like halfway through the indent, is a completely separate piece. So this bottom portion did not come when I cut out the receiver. It came as a rectangle in which I cut out some corrugation and made the pieces angles, and then cut the cardboard off the other side of the middle, and so there's corrugation on it, and I cut out a complete section right here and I glued it on after bending the angles in. Now this allowed me to make a kind of poorly made, it was a really quick project, and it was 4 in the morning when I made it. It allowed me to make a really quick flashlight. So, I can't really see from this angle. I don't know why, but it appears darker on my phone. And so the flashlight just kind of seats on the rail, and eventually with time I will get a couple of electronics and make it work for real. Now the rails, you can't really see because that one's painted by accident, are made out of toothpicks, and then the pins holding it on are skewers, but it was real quick and easy, and it looks good. Now, the other thing I made was a suppressor. Now this was kind of a last minute thing I made a couple of minutes ago. It's just, that's how quick the paint dries. It did work right. Now when I put it in, it does kind of push the insides of the barrel out, but that's alright. And it looks actually really nice. So, and I gotta say, I really like the way it looks when the barrels. Now I painted literally almost everything on this thing. The inside of the slide's painted, the barrel is painted, the guide rod is painted, the entire receiver, the trigger, the mag release, the slide lock. I painted everything, and it looks good. Oh, why is it out of focus? So, you know, some really dumb fake shooting for you. Now I will demonstrate on why you can't really use the slide lock with your right thumb. It doesn't work too well, and it damages it. But I mean, if you were to, you know, do a little tactical reload and, you know, push down on it while you pull back the slide, you could do that. Unlike my Colt Defender, in which I can just pull back the slide and it releases the slide lock. And also, the slide is the smoothest one I've ever made, and it doesn't come up anywhere. It's just kind of already up off the gun, but it doesn't make that worse. And I really love the way this came out. So, take that off. This has been my cardboard Glock 19 in 9mm. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you cringed, hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.